Hi guys, welcome back to the Big Sew Along. I'm Ginny and this is 2023. So happy new year to everybody. I hope you all had fabulous holidays. My husband and I really didn't do very much. As anybody who has the internet or our weather station knows, the week of Christmas, the entire US was just like tortured by a really big storm. So here I'll show you guys a picture of what Claude was doing on Christmas Day. In fact, that's really what he does every day, but I know some of you guys like to see him, so there you go. Anyways, Happy New Year. I hope everybody's holiday was great. What have I been doing? Because the weather was so cold and nasty, and today it's not nearly as bad as it was, but it's cold and rainy, and it has been. This is the 3rd of January and it has been cold and rainy for 3 days now, so it's a little depressing and dreary. And I'm cozied up in a sweatshirt and leggings and a pair of slippers today. That's as far as I'm going. But what that means is I was really inspired to sew a coat. I've been thinking about buying a coat earlier in the year, and I just couldn't find one I really liked, and I was debating between, do I want to make it, do I want to buy it. I really was thinking about buying it because I didn't know if I wanted to invest the time in making a coat, and I was thinking maybe I would rather have like a puffer coat. But at the end of the day, I have like a sporty, like a down coat, so I don't really need another one of those. What I really wanted was a big, heavy wool coat. So I made the Richmond Coat from Tessuti fabrics. Pictures are right here. And I made this out of a double-faced wool. It's one side is black and gray like houndstooth, and the other side is solid gray. It was a little bit thick, but it's not as thick as some double-faced wool, so I did line it as per the instructions. What do I want to say about this coat? Well, I love it. I really love this coat. I have to tell you that I was really impressed with the instructions. I felt like they were a little bit tedious because the instructions tell you when there's a different seam allowance. Like, so it says sew the neck to the coat with a 3/8 inch seam allowance, sew the armholes with a 1/2 inch seam allowance, as opposed to just saying like seam allowances or 5/8 of an inch unless otherwise noted. That's what I'm more used to. That's what I prefer. Although, that said, it did force me to read through every step of the directions, which you guys all know I'm not really that great at, so I didn't miss anything because I was always looking for the seam allowance. Anyways, aside from that one little detail, I feel like the instructions were really good. I'm really happy with the way this came out. My only issue with the way it came out is this wool. I should have tested it with my iron before I started working on it, but of course I didn't. So when I very first pressed something and used steam, the fabric actually shrunk up enough for me to be able to tell. So then I just had to be really careful about pressing and steaming it. I should have, like I said, checked that before I started. But anyways, there you go. Yeah, the sizing on this, I think, gosh, you guys, now I can't remember. I think I made a size 12 in this, but it might have been a 14. Whatever it was, I used their measurement chart. I made it according to their measurement chart. I picked the size that was closest to my measurements. I shortened the whole thing by 2 inches, but that is the only alteration I did. I think I shortened the sleeves only 1 inch. And the rest of the coat I shortened 2 inches, but I didn't, like I said, that was the only alteration I made. And I really do love it. This coat has a very dropped armhole, which is great for me because I like to wear big baggy things like this, and so you have plenty of room for that under there. If you like a more tailored or more fitted armhole, just be aware of that because this one is a really deep armhole. So yeah, if you guys are looking for a coat pattern, I highly recommend this one. I love the way it came together. I love the way it came out. I couldn't be more happy with it. It's exactly what I wanted. The other thing I worked on over the holidays was the almost long trousers from the assembly line. You guys might remember I may have said this when we were talking about the shirt, the oversized shirt from the assembly line, which was our last sew along. I have had this pattern for a while, like as soon as it was available, so it's been a few years. And I have this is for the almost long trousers. I have made these pants before, but originally this pattern, I actually ordered it from Sweden, and because nobody in the US was carrying it yet, and they only had paper patterns, and you could only get one size. So originally I bought this pattern in a large, and I made it up, and it was way too big. They're actually pajamas now for my husband. I think I might have told you guys that. Anyways, I altered the pattern considerably, and I made this pant again, and I really loved it, except that I made it out of this printed corduroy, and I wasn't paying, or I don't know if I wasn't paying attention or if I just didn't like get where the images on this fabric were gonna land, but I had like a bird in a really weird looking spot, so eventually I reused that fabric for something else. So I decided I would buy this pattern again now that it's in multiple sizes and you can get the download. I just ordered a new one, and I cut a straight size medium. This is what it looks like here. I think the size is perfect. I'm so glad that I got the new pattern and got the new size. The only thing is, I think it's a tad bit long for me. It comes right to my ankle, and you guys are well aware that I tend to like my pants a little bit shorter. So next time I'll probably shorten these 2 inches. Aside from that, I won't do anything to these. I love these pants. They go together really well, and it's just like a really easy trouser to make. The only thing I will say is this pant, I prefer, I have made it straight without the elastic at the hem before, and I wasn't as crazy about it because this actually has like a very slight flare at the bottom, which you don't notice when you put the elastic cuff on, but you do notice it obviously if you don't have the elastic cuff on. So I don't really like that. If I made it again without the elastic cuff, I would just straighten that out a little bit. With the elastic cuff, I love it. Alright, so that is all of the actual sewing I did over the holidays. I did spend some time straightening up my sewing room. You guys aren't going to be able to see it now. My fabric shelves are kind of like in an awkward place, so it's hard for me to take a picture of them. But trust me, I put all my fabric away. I actually folded everything, something I've been trying to do since I moved into this house in May, and I finally got it done. So I'm really proud of myself for that. Alright, that was it. That's all as productive as I was over the holidays. Now, for our next sew along, and I don't know if this will be next week or the following week, but it will be in January. We are going to do the light and shadow like vest kind of top thing from the Cutting Line Designs. I'm really excited about that. I have like the perfect fabric, and I can't wait to make that for you guys. Then I think the next sew along is going to be the origami skirt from the sewing workshop, and a couple of you guys sent me messages over the holidays saying that I should check this skirt out, and I thank you for the messages, by the way. I love this skirt. I have had this pattern for a really long time. I have the paper pattern from like the original production, and I wanted to do a sew along for this like a year ago. And I contacted Linda Lee to see if she would be okay with that, and she wrote me back a very nice message, said that she was fine with me doing a sew along with her patterns, but she would prefer I pick a pattern that she has in stock, because at the time she was just selling off the last of those paper patterns. So I didn't do it because I didn't want to make a pattern that wasn't available to anybody. So when she came out a couple weeks ago with this PDF version of this, I was super excited. So I think in February we are going to be doing the origami skirt. It's really kind of, it's almost like pants because it does have legs. Anyways, that'll be our next sew along after the light and shadow vest. So if anybody's interested in that, go ahead and check out. I'll leave links to everything obviously below, but check out that pattern over at the sewing workshop. The other thing is, I was talking to Karen, and I can't remember if we were texting back and forth on Facebook or Instagram. It doesn't matter. We were talking about signing up for the Sewing Workshop's Sew Confident series, which is a series of classes that Linda Lee runs for the entire year. It's kind of expensive to do it as a whole year. It's like $425, I think, for the classes, but and it doesn't include like the patterns and stuff, just so you know. But she does also have an option where you can just pay like a monthly subscription fee. That aside, I've always been really intrigued by that, and I've been tempted to do it before, and I never have. So Karen has like sort of pushed me closer to the edge of signing up this year, and I just wondered if any of you guys have ever done any of the Sew Confident series with Linda Lee, and if you have, what your experience was like. Is anybody else interested in doing it this year? I think this year it's, Karen said it's all tops, which really appeals to me because that is something I am sorely lacking, oddly enough. And you know, I tend to make dresses and that I wear over pants, so more like tunics, long tunics. Pants, I make an abundance of pants, and that's it. Like, so making a few tops would be a really good project for me. All right, so anyways, I was just curious to know if any of you guys have signed up for that before, or if you're planning on signing up for this year. If you have any comments about that, I would really love to hear them. Okay, I think that is it for me this week. Until next week, I wish you all a very, very happy new year and happy sewing, and we will see you soon.